Good morning, everybody. So, a stolen meme for you this morning to start it off. In case no one has told you recently, I am proud of you. The reality of it is that if everybody around you knew what kind of things you've been through, they'd really stop and wonder how you're still standing. In the midst of all the COVID and the world upheavals, the political climate changes, voting, and everything that's going on, it's really hard to see the truth of it all. It's difficult to step away from the newsreels, Facebook feeds with the 5-second highlights of somebody's glorious life and really see what they're going through and where the reality is. My hopes for COVID, when the whole thing moves forward, and eventually we all will move forward, is finding a balance and giving more grace to everyone. The sun will still rise and the day still moves along, and what we do about those days is what's most important. As far as the politics of it all, I hope we see more compassion for those around us. Everyone has a backstory, how they got here, what they went through to get there, and how they came out on the other side. When we see people we thought were friends and even family lash out at others for their political opinions, stop and think for a moment why. Why is that person so mad at this situation? Set the politics aside and see the human side. Is there a personal experience that has caused that person pain and they're reacting in anger? For myself, if I'm feeling some sort of way, I will sit for a moment and feel what it is and examine why I'm feeling it. Many times the reality has nothing to do with the situation. It's just something I haven't dealt with that's really bothering me. There are so many issues at hand today: mental health, physical ailments, race disparities, access for medical care, addictions, hate for whatever you stand for, and a lack of family support for multiple reasons. That list can go on, and I bet every single one of you in the room today has something on that list has affected your life. So I ask you why? Why is it so difficult for us to not see what's on the other person's list? My brother is 10 years my senior. He has issues with the mask. And originally it looked like he just didn't want to be told what to do. He served in the Navy in the 70s. And it wasn't until 15 years ago that he had a major triggering situation that brought out the real PTSD. Last week I learned that while on the aircraft ship, he was hit and it was sinking fast. They were given masks that would allow for just 6 minutes of air. He would sip the air and try to go rescue shipmates through the bunkers and hope they were still alive. So his fear and situation with the mask is very real. And when he told me that story, my first thought was, damn, no wonder he's struggling. And then my mind expanded to all the military and first responders, and millions of people are dealing with these things on a day-to-day basis. So when you see that cranky old man and you think he's just a nut job, maybe there's a reason for it. Likewise, when you see Karen in the store screaming at people, she might be just going through menopause and having a full mental breakdown. Been there. And when people shout at others on Facebook about their political opinions, they might have a personal reason for that opinion. As we move through COVID and look through the winter season, I have a concern for all of us in our mental health. We all need to plan ahead for our own self-care and that of our family. So when you have a good day, make a list of the things that sound interesting to learn or do, or go do, or whatever your situation is. So that way when you're having a low day and it's dark and rainy or snowy outside, you have no idea what to do, but you know you need to pull yourself out of that hole, you can pull out that list and pick something new to do. It's all about thriving and survive, not just surviving. I've taken up painting again. This is one of my pieces that I did recently. It brings me joy to create it. I have a hammered dulcimer that I bought about 10 years ago and never stopped to learn how to play it. I tried in the beginning of the COVID, but it was just too much. I've never played a musical instrument before, except for a little bit of piano when I was young in the 70s, and the teacher wanted me to just play Sean Cassidy's Do-Do Run Run. I was not a fan of Sean Cassidy, so that was a struggle. But I think this winter I will take some online classes and try out my dulcimer. So 9 months in, I feel like I have a new sort of me. I won't say it's been easy because that would be a highlight reel. Self-care is at the top of the list. Yoga and meditation was once an occasional thing I tried to do. Now, today, it's totally essential in my daily routine. My husband and I have reestablished date night. As a mostly empty nesters, we have more time on our hand than we had before. So now we've reestablished date night. We go out once a week to try something new. Last night was axe throwing, and now I'm fully prepared for the zombie apocalypse. When the kids are in town on most of the weekends, we also make a plan to go do something and do some quality time together. Find the things that are outside your norm is very doable, even with COVID. It just takes a little bit more planning. And when you see your people this weekend, let them know that you are proud of them and give them a very specific reason why you're proud of them, because we don't hear any of this often enough. And remember, I'm proud of you. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Sherrie. Oh, much needed.